In this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can increase your lifetime value per customer, or how much money an average customer spends with you. And I'm actually going to use my recent stay at the Four Seasons, where I am right now in the south of France, as an illustration to show you how it's done. So if you don't know what lifetime value is, it's essentially how much money someone spends with you over the lifetime of their relationship with you. For example, if you sell something for $1,000 a month, and on average people stay with you for 3 months, you'd be making $3,000 lifetime value per customer. If on the other hand you sell a one-off package but it's $3,000 up front, you'd also be making a $3,000 lifetime per customer, right? And then obviously there's whole spectrums on there. If somebody starts with you at $29 a month and eventually is paying $5,000 a month, then you can figure out how much money you're making per customer. And there's really only two ways to increase and scale your business. The first is going to be to get more customers coming in, and I have literally hundreds of videos on YouTube on that, and that's how I made my first $10 million online. But then when I started making multiple 8 figures, it was from getting those customers that I was getting to come in to buy more from me, right? And the best part about that is that typically you're only paying to acquire the customer one time, and then from there, every additional dollar you make from them is just icing on the cake. It's just pure profit right to your bottom line. And the reason I'm using Four Seasons as an example is I'm staying at the Four Seasons in Nice, France right now. This is probably one of the most beautiful hotels I've actually ever stayed at. As you know, the business systems guy, anytime I am interacting with other businesses, which is obviously multiple times a day, I'm always thinking about like, okay, how are they doing this? How are they upselling me? I'm in their funnel right now. What does that look like? What is their service like? What's their pricing structure, packages, all of that stuff, right? And I always try to take lessons and apply it to my own life or my own businesses. And so I just wanted to share this video with you because I think the Four Seasons has done a really great job of ascending me and increasing my lifetime value. So just for some rough numbers, I was in Bordeaux right previously before this. I'm on like a 14-day trip with my girlfriend through France right now. And we were in Paris and then we were in Bordeaux, and we decided last minute to come to Nice, the south of France. The weather was beautiful and I had never been. We found the Four Seasons, which is where we'll typically stay. And the way that I like to do things is I have what's known as the American Express Platinum card. And so when you book through the American Express Platinum card, you get this like additional few benefits. So you get $100 credit, you get free breakfast, you get early check-in and late checkout, and you get a free room upgrade if it's available. So my typical strategy when I'm going to places like this is I will just get the basic room, and then whenever I get there, I'll pull up, I'll look at what's available online, and I say, hey, I see that you have one room upgrader from here. It says it's included. Is there any way you can upgrade me up? And so that's what I did. When I got in, I paid, let's say, I think it was about 700 euros a night for the first room that I got, their basic level package. So I'm here for 2 nights. So I was spending right around $1,500 all said and done just on the room alone, right? So my current lifetime value with Four Seasons was $1,500. They were going to make $1,500 from me the moment that I purchased their first thing, which was their basic level room. When I got there, they increased my room. They upgraded me to a room that was about 950 euros a night. So that was roughly like 1,800 to 1,900 euros that they had increased it. But they didn't charge me any money. So I got automatically upgraded, but I didn't have to pay any money. So they didn't increase my lifetime value here, but it was a nice first impression that I had with them that they were willing to let me do that. But then here's where the special sauce comes in. While I'm checking in, the lady says, hey, look, we already upgraded you one room up, but you're still inside of a regular hotel room. If you would like, what I can do is actually upgrade you to a suite. And when I upgrade you to the suite, you're going to have this beautiful view of the ocean. You'll have balconies. It's multiple rooms. You have a living room, a bedroom, all this stuff. And you're already getting a discounted rate. But what I'll do is I'll take 30% off the suite rate, and you'll just have to pay $700 more a night, right? And so they've really kind of tried to ascend me or sell me as soon as I got on the property. And I was like, okay, maybe, and I'm kind of used to this, you know, they try to always ascend you, but it was, I could see online that they were offering it to me at a 30% discount than what it typically is. And, you know, I am here for 2 nights and it's the south of France, and, you know, I was like, okay, maybe I will do it. I'm thinking about it. I was like, you know what, let me just check out my room first and let me see if I like it, and then I'll come back down and I'll decide if I want to upgrade to the suite. But they know, and this is a great lesson, that if I were to go to the room and I was to unpack and settle and everything, then at that point, the excitement or the energy of just getting there and getting to your room is going to start fading. And so instead, what they say, okay, I totally understand, Mr. Abuvala. How about we do this? The suite is right around the corner from here. Why don't I take you to the suite first? You can check that out, and then I'll take you over to your room afterwards, and you can make the decision from there. And that order of importance is very important, because first they're going to take me to the most amazing, one of the most amazing rooms they have, and they're going to show me that, and then they're going to come back down and say, okay, but this is what you have with us, or this level down from here. And it was really important they did that order of operations, and I knew what they were doing in my head, and I knew that if I saw the suite first, I was going to probably end up staying here, because it's very hard to go back. The other kind of element of like marketing and sales persuasion they were doing here was they were adding in the fact that kind of like social pressure a little bit. So I have my girlfriend with me, and I like to provide for my girlfriend, and I like her to have nice things. And so while we're at the front desk, they're like, oh, would you like to upgrade to the suite? And so then I'd have to say no to them, and then I would look maybe a little bit bad to my girlfriend. And my girlfriend's not materialistic or anything in any way. This is literally just human psychology, and we very much crave social acceptance. And so the fact that they were asking me that in front of her, and then I was going to take her up here as well. So now there's this like social pressure of, I know she's going to want the suite as well. And then we go back to the other one. It was all very well played end to end. So then we come upstairs, we go to the suite, and of course the suite's like unbelievably beautiful. I'm in it right now. Maybe we'll cut to the B-roll and show you guys a little bit about it here. It's on the water. It's this like old private thing. And I check this out. I'm like, okay, obviously this is really nice. And then we go back down. She's like, okay, let me show you your current room right now. And so we walk down, we go outside, and it's in a separate building. And so we go to this separate building, and I don't know what they were thinking, but like at this specific Four Seasons, they had pretty much purchased this from somebody else. The other building in the back is like 2 times uglier and not as nice and not as modern as this current one is. And it wasn't on the water, and you had a balcony, but it was like kind of a rinkety-dinkety balcony. So of course we get in there, I walk in, and like immediately you're doing the comparison in your mind of where you just were and where we were here. And even before I told this to the lady at the front desk, even before we had walked into the room, I could just tell the energy was different over there compared to over here. And I knew I was going to say yes to the suite. So then I walked to the hotel room. We're in there for 4 seconds, and I'm like, look, let's just do the suite. And she goes, excellent, Mr. Abuvala, perfect, right? So they just upgraded me. So before I was spending about $1,500 just for my stay, and then the suite was an additional 800 euros a night. So I'm staying here for 2 nights. So they literally doubled my lifetime value for no additional cost. But another important lesson here is that I would have never originally purchased the suite. That's just not who I am. I don't have to go to the suite immediately as soon as I go somewhere. And so they got me in a low ticket funnel. So they got me to buy the basic entry package. Then they had this complimentary bonus where I get to upgrade 1 room up. So that way I'm happy. And then they upsold me, and they doubled my amount of money that I was spending with them just by upgrading my room to the suite, right? And of course we've had unbelievable time here, but we're not done yet. So right now I'm at, let's say 3,000 euros, a little bit more than that, that we're spending just on the hotel accommodations. But then of course you have cross sells, another beautiful way to increase your lifetime value. So I had yesterday just a single chicken breast with olive oil on it and a side of vegetables, and it was 62 euros for a single chicken breast and a side of vegetables, right? I'm not complaining because it's the Four Seasons, but they've obviously significantly increased their pricing, and then there's not really a lot of restaurants where we are. It's kind of like pretty private, so it would be very hard to go somewhere else. So you're kind of paying for convenience as well. And so I was doing the math this morning, between all the meals that we've had here, we got breakfast for free, but lunch and dinner and the snacks and all of that stuff, I've probably spent easily an extra 600 to 800 euros in food here as well. So I started at 1,500 euros, doubled it to about 3,000 euros, and then I'm spending another 600 to 700 euros on the restaurants as well. And if I'm honest with you, I feel like we are kind of not penny pinchers, but we're not like going extravagant, right? I don't think we could have really left here with spending less money than that, assuming obviously if I wanted the suite upgrade, but it's not like we're doing 15 meals a day. I fast for the majority of the day. And so they're easily getting me from 1,500 euros to 3,000 euros to, let's say, 3,800 euros that they're getting. So more than 2 times the amount of money that I initially came in and paid for, they're getting that from me, and at no additional cost to them, obviously. There you have it. That is the rough lesson for you on lifetime value for your customers and your business. So you need to ask yourself a few important lessons. Let me wrap this up for you. Number 1, how can you get somebody to start interacting with you at a lower price point than what you want them to be at? So that way you can have a higher velocity of sales coming in. So if all they had was a suite inside of here, I probably would not have gotten it, right? So that's number 1. How do you create a low ticket subscription, something at the very bottom that gets them a taste of what you're working with? Number 2, it's important to strike while the iron's hot to get them to ascend to your higher package. So most people think, oh, let me wait until they're settled, they're in the room, they've worked with you for 30, 60, 90 days. Ironically enough, our data shows that one of the best times to ascend somebody is right when they purchase the previous thing, because they're still excited. There's this excitement in the air that they don't even know what the future holds yet. And slowly that starts diminishing more and more as you see what the future holds. And so you kind of want to strike while the iron's hot. And the order of operations matter. So she didn't let me check into my regular room first. She took me to the suites, showed me the amazing stuff, and then took me down to the other room, knowing that I would be very hard pressed to stay in that regular room. The third thing that they did was societal pressure. So she, in essence, got buy-in from my girlfriend subconsciously. I knew that she was going to want the suite as well. And so it would have been hard for me to say no, because not only am I saying no, maybe if I was by myself, I might not have cared, but I wanted us to have this amazing experience here in Nice. And so she added societal pressures to it. And then finally is those cross sells. So how can you add even small little packages, right? For example, for us, we work with a lot of companies with partnerships and affiliates. So if you come work with us and we're helping you build your marketing system, we might recommend an attribution software, and at no cost to you, we'll get a recurring monthly fee if you use that software with us. You don't have to. There's nobody with a gun to your head, but if you do, we get recurring income from that. And so those are all ways you can increase the lifetime value in your business. Those are all ways we do it in our business, and that's how the Four Seasons does it in their business. If you want to check out our own version of kind of the ascension ladder, our low ticket products that go into the high ticket products, I do recommend you go down below. You can check out the first link. We just launched something called Scaling School, which is everything I've learned going from $0 to $25 million online. And you can see inside of there how we have everything structured. You'll see a sales funnel with order bumps and all of that stuff. And then you'll see how we work the ascension process in the back end. Plus you'll get all of the additional about $20,000 worth of bonuses included inside of that you get just by signing up as a member today. So thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.